ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So welcome all the devotees for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Discussing fourth canto, chapter 6, entitled Brahma Satisfies Lord Shiva. So last week we discussed in detail the description of Kailash. Devatas along with Lord Brahma, they are coming to the abode of Lord Shiva. There was a very nice description of Kailash. And then in Kailash, they are coming to the exact place where Lord Shiva is situated. So this is the verse we concluded last time. Tasmin Maha Yogamaye Mumukshu Sharane Suraha Dadrushu Shivamasinam Tyakta Marsham Ivantakam. Dadrushu, the Devata saw Lord Shiva under the tree which was competent to give protection to the mystic yogis and deliver all people. As grave as time eternal, he appeared to have given up all the anger. So in this shloka, the word Dadrushuhu is the Kriyapada. Kriyapada means they saw. This word Dadrushu should be added to the next 5 shlokas. The next 5 shlokas, there is no Kriyapada, there is no verb. Many times the verb has to be taken from one of the previous verses. So they saw Lord Shiva. So the next the five essentially next 5 verses and this particular verse also this it gives a description of Lord Shiva with various adjectives. Lord Shiva is being described. So in this shloka it is explained that Lord Shiva is described as that they saw Lord Shiva, Shivam Dadrushuhu. What kind of Lord Shiva? Mumukshu Sharane. That Lord Shiva who was competent to give protection to the give perfection to the mystic yogis. They saw that Lord Shiva. And Tyakta Marsham Shivam. They saw that Lord Shiva who appeared to have given up all the anger. Tyakta Amarsham. And they saw that Lord Shiva who is Antakam, who is like a time personified, was grave like a time personified. They saw that Lord Shiva. And then we'll go to the next shloka. Somebody can repeat after me. Sanandanadyayir
Sanandanadeir Mahasiddhai
Shantai Samshanta Vigraham.
Shantai Sanshanta Vigraham.
Upasyamanam Sakyacha.
Upasyamanam Sakhyacha.
Bhartra Guhyaka Rakshasam.
Maitra Guhyaka Rakshasam. Lord Shiva sat there surrounded by saintly persons like Kuvera, the master of the Guhyakas, and the four Kumaras, who were already liberated souls. Lord Shiva was grave and saintly.
So as I mentioned, the word Dadrushuhu, that should be taken from the previous shloka. So they saw Lord Shiva. Shivam Dadrushuhu. They saw Lord Shiva. So the Lord Shiva is described by various adjectives here. Samshanta Vigraham. Samshanta Vigraham. That means one who has a personification of complete peace. Samshanta Vigraham. Samshanta Vigraham means Sridhar Swami says that Samshanta Vigraham means that person, Samshanta, who is free from all the six waves. There is a Shad Urmi, we say. Shad Urmi is the six waves which a conditioned soul is tormented. What are the six waves? Hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, and old age and death. These are called as the Shad Urmi. Or Shad Urmi can also be described as Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsara. Samshantaha means Shadurmi Rahitaha. One who is freed from all these six waves which a conditioned soul is tormented. That means he was completely Samshanta Vigraham. He was a personification of bliss. Purnananda Eva Vigraha. Purnananda Eva Vigraha. That is the meaning of the word Samshanta Vigraham. So, Sananda Adyaihi. That means Sananda Adyaihi means the four Kumaras. Sananda, headed by the four Kumaras. Sananda Adyaihi Mahasiddhaihi. The four Kumaras, they are all very perfected personalities, having a lot of mystic powers. So Mahasiddhaihi is the adjective for the Sananda Adyaihi. And the Shantaihi is also adjective for the four Kumaras. Shanta Swabhava Vale Sanandana Adi Mahasiddho. The peaceful four Kumaras who are perfected beings. Shantaihi Sanandanadhyaihi Mahasiddhaihi. So all these three words are in Tritiya Vibhakti, Tritiya Bahuvachan. Ramaihi, like that. Shantaihi Sanandanadhyaihi Mahasiddhaihi. Guhyaka Rakshasam Bhartra. Guhyaka is a group of people, like a yakshas. Guhyaka is a group of people. Guhyaka Rakshasam. Rakshasam is the word, na? Guhyaka Rakshasam. Not Rakshasam, Guhyaka Rakshasam. Word to word translation Rakshasas. Guhyaka Rakshasam. Actually, Guhyaka Rakshasam, that is what the Sridhar Swami is. Guhyaka Rakshasam Bhartra. That means the master of the Guhyakas and the Rakshasas. Who is that person? That is Kubera. And that Kubera is the friend of Lord Shiva, Sakhya. Guhyaka Rakshasam Bhartra Sakyacha Samshanta Vigraham Upasyamanam Shivam. That means that Shiva who is worshipped by the master of the Gukyakas and the Rakshasas. So that Shiva who is worshipped by the master of the Gukyakas and Rakshasas, that is Kubera. That Shiva who is worshipped by the Kubera and who is the friend of Lord Shiva. And that Shiva who is worshipped by the peaceful, perfected beings like the four Kumaras. The Devatas saw that Lord Shiva. Shivam Dadrushuhu. So that means the Devatas, they saw that Lord Shiva who is worshipped by the master of the Gukyakas and the Rakshasas and who is the friend of Lord Shiva, that is Kubera. And they saw that Lord Shiva who is worshipped by the peaceful, perfected beings like the four Kumaras. Devatas, they saw that Lord Shiva. That is the meaning of the shloka. So Prabhupada says here, we can see that the personalities Lord Shiva whom he was sitting with those personalities are also such elevated personalities, the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras are liberated from the birth, and those four Kumaras, they worship Lord Shiva. The four Kumaras, when they were asked to procreate children by Lord Brahma, four Kumaras refused to get married. That time, Lord Brahma became angry. In that angry mood, and Brahma became angry from that angry mood of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva was born. So therefore, the four Kumaras of Shiva were intimately related. So Kuvera and the Guhyakam Rakshasam Bhartra, it refers to the Kuvera. Kuvera. So the four Kumaras, they are renounced right from the birth. They have great spiritual opulences. And Kubera is a person who has so much of material opulences, who is the treasurer of the Devatas. So Lord Shiva is worshipped by both the four Kumaras who are having spiritual opulences, and Lord Shiva is also worshipped by Kubera who is having material opulences. So this indicates that Lord Shiva has both the spiritual and the material opulences because he is worshipped by such people like the four Kumaras and the Kubera. So therefore we can see the exalted position of Lord Shiva that is indicated. And then further, Lord Shiva is described in the next shloka. Somebody can repeat. Vidya tapo yoga patam
विद्यातपोयोगपतम्
astitam tamadishwaram
आस्थितं तमदीश्वरम्
charantam vishwasuhridam
चरन्तं विश्वसुहृदम्
vatsalyal lokamangalam.
वात्सल्याल्लोकमङ्गलम्. The demigods saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as the master of the senses, knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was the friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious.
So the word dadrushuhu should be added from the previous shloka, previous to previous shloka. So vidya. So Shivam Dadrushuhu, the Devatas, they saw Lord Shiva. What type of Shiva? Adishwaram Shivam Dadrushuhu. Adishwaram. That means Sampurna Jagat ke Swami. Adishwaram Shivam Dadrushuhu. And what else is said about the Lord Shiva? Vishwa Suhrudam. They saw that Lord Shiva, who is the friend of the entire world. Vishwa Suhrudam. And then another adjective is sound is coming. Hare Krishna. Vanamali Prabhu. Vatsalyal Lokamangalam Shivam Dadrushu. Vatsalyal Lokamangalam. That is the third adjective. Vatsalyal Lokamangalam means वात्सल्य के कारण संसार का मंगल करते रहते हैं. They saw that Lord Shiva. They saw that Lord Shiva who performs auspicious activities out of his affection towards the entire world. Who performs auspicious activities for the universe out of his affection for the world. They saw that Lord Shiva. Vatsalya Lokamangalam Shivam Dadrushu. That means they saw that Lord Shiva who is engaged in auspicious activities for the whole universe out of his affection, Vatsalya. And then, so Adishwaram, Vishwasuhrudam, Vatsalya, Lokamangalam, three adjectives. And then the fourth adjective is that Charantam, Vidya, Tapo, Yoga, Patam, Astitam. Charantam, 1 minute. Charantam, Vidya, Tapo, Yogapatam, Astitam, Shivam Dadrushu. So they saw that Lord Shiva, who is Vidya, Tapo, Yogapatam. Here Vidya refers to Upasana, worship. Tapa refers to Chitta Aikagryam, Chitta Ekagrata. Chitta ki Ekagrata. That is what Tapa. Yoga refers to the stage of Samadhi. So they saw that Lord Shiva who is Astitam, who is situated in the Upasana, who is situated, who was having a Ekagra Chitta, and who are situated in the state of Samadhi. They saw that Lord Shiva. संपूर्ण जगत के स्वामी शिवजी विश्व के बंधु हैं. वे वात्सल्य के कारण संसार का मंगल करते रहते हैं. उपासना, तपस्या तथा मन की एकाग्रता रूपी योग मार्ग में स्थित शिवजी को देवताओं ने देखा. So they saw that Lord Shiva who is situated in Upasana, Tapasya, and the Chitta ki Ekagrata, one-pointed focus of the mind, and the state of Samadhi. They saw that Lord Shiva who is having all these qualities. Adishwaram, Vishwasuhrudam, Vatsalyal, Lokamangalam, Charantam, Vidya, Tapo, Yogapatam, Astitam, Shivam, Dadrushuhu. So when we try to read the Bhagavatam, we have to try to feel every word, what is there. We should focus on the Moola Shabda of the Shloka. Let us read Prabhupada purport. Lord Shiva is full of wisdom and tapasya. Vidya tapo yoga sthitam. Prabhupada is commenting on it. One who knows the modes of work is understood to be situated on the path of devotion service of Supreme Lord. So Vidya also here refers to Upasana. Upasana means worship. Worship of whom? Lord Shiva is engaged in the worship of Krishna. That is what Prabhupada is commenting here. Prabhupada is the Lord Shiva, because he understands how the three modes work. He is situated in the devotional service to Krishna. And a person who is engaged in devotional service, he must have perfect knowledge. That is a Vidya Tapa. Vidya word is also used. And then Lord Shiva is called as Adishwara, controller. Particularly controller of the senses. Generally, our materially contaminated senses are apt to engage in sense gratificatory activities. But when a person is elevated by wisdom and austerity, the senses then become purified. And they become engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So Lord Shiva is the emblem of such perfection. Therefore, he is called as Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhuhu. So Lord Shiva is teaching all the conditioned souls by his own personal example to engage in devotional service to Lord. Vidya Tapo Yoga Sthitam. Therefore, and he is also teaching by his example. Vatsalyat Lokamangalam. He is engaged in the welfare of the entire universe. Next shloka. Again, Lord Shiva is described by more adjectives. Lingam cha tapasabhishtam.
लिंगं च तापसाभीष्टम्
Bhasmadanda jatajinam.
भस्मदण्डजटाजितम्
Angena sandhya brarucha.
अङ्गेन सन्ध्या रुचा रुचा
Chandralekham cha bibratam.
चन्द्रलेखां च बिभ्रतम्. Translation: He was seated on a deer skin and was practicing all forms of austerity. Because his body was smeared with ashes, he looked like an evening cloud. On his hair was the sign of a half moon, a symbolic representation.
So we see further adjectives are described. Sandhya Brarucha. Sandhya means the evening. Abra means a cloud. So the evening cloud, what is the color of the evening cloud? Reddish in color. Sandhyabra Rucha. That means he appeared to have the effulgence of the evening cloud. He appeared to have the complexion of the evening cloud. That means like a reddish complexion. Sandhyabra Rucha Angena Tapasa Abhishtam. Tapasa Abhishtam. Tapasa Abhishtam means those who perform tapasya, such people, Abhishta, such people have certain symbols, certain ornaments they wear. What are the ornaments? Tapasa Abhishtam Lingam Basma Danda Jatajinam. Tapasyon ke liye Abhishta Chinna. What is the appropriate sign of a tapasvi? They smear their body with the ashes, basma. Danda, they have a rod. Jata, they have a matted locks of hair. Ajinam, ajinam means they sit on the deer skin. Tapasa abhishtam lingam basma danda jatajinam chandralekam cha bibratam. Chandralekam, Chandralekha refers to the Chandra ki kala. Lord Shiva is having the crescent moon in his head. The Chandralekam cha bibratam Shivam dadrushubu. So the Devata saw that Lord Shiva who was having the effulgence of the evening cloud. संध्याब्ररुचा अंगेन संध्या कालीन मेघ के समान कांति वाले अपने शरीर पर तपस्वियों के लिए अभीष्ट चिन्ह भस्म दंड जटा और मृगचर्म तथा चंद्रमा की कला को धारण किए हुए शिवजी को देवताओं ने देखा. तो देवता saw that Lord Shiva who was having a complexion of a evening cloud, who was having the appropriate symbols of a tapasvi. What are those symbols? Bhasma, Danda, Jata, and the deer skin. And who was having the crescent moon on his head. These are the further adjectives described about Lord Shiva. So of course, the Sridhar Swami also says that some other commentators say actually Lord Shiva's complexion is white complexion, but because of putting the ashes and all, his complexion appeared like the complexion of an evening cloud. Sandhyabra rucha raktavarnena angena basmad lingam chandralekam cha bibratam. So Shivji actually has a white complexion, but because of putting the ashes, he appeared to have the complexion of a evening cloud. That means a reddish complexion. Next, we see Prabhupada's purport. So Lord Shiva's symptoms of austerity are not exactly those of a Vaishnava. But although Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava, because Lord Shiva exhibits such kind of behavior in order to attract people in Tamoguna who cannot follow the Vaishnava principles. For them, Lord Shiva exhibits such kind of appearance and such kind of behavior. So generally, we see that Shaivaites, they also dress like Lord Shiva. Sometimes they imitate Lord Shiva by drinking intoxicants. The Vaishnavas don't follow that. Next shloka. Upavishtam darbamayyam
Upavishtam darbhamayam
Vrisyam Brahma Sanatanam
Brishyan Brahma Sanatanam
Naradaya Pravochantam
Naradaya Pravochantam
Pritchate Shrinvatam Satam.
Shinvatam Satam. He was seated on a straw mattress and speaking to all present, including the great sage Narada, to whom he specifically spoke about the absolute truth.
So we see here, here also you have to take the Shivam Dadrushu, that word should be taken from the previous shloka. So, Darbamayyam Vrisyam Upavishtam. Darba refers to the Kusha grass. Darbamayyam Vrisyam. Vrisya refers to, it is an asana of the renunciants, of the tapasvis. The asana which is made of the Darba grass, Lord Shiva was situated in that asana. And then Lord Shiva, Pravochantam, he was actually giving pravachana or he was teaching he was teaching something. What he was teaching about? Brahma Pravochantam. He was teaching about the supreme absolute truth. He was teaching about the supreme absolute truth. To whom he was teaching? Sanatanam Brahma Pravochantam. He was teaching about the eternal supreme absolute truth. To whom he was teaching? Shinvatam Satam Pruchate Naradaya. He was teaching to Shinvatam Satam. There were many sages were present. And among the many sages, Narada was asking questions on behalf of the sages. So Lord Shiva was teaching about the Sanatana Brahma, the supreme absolute truth, to a group of sages headed by Narada, who was asking question on behalf of them. So they saw that Lord Shiva. So Kusha Nirmita Asana par baite hue, Darbhamayam Brisyam Upavishtam, तथा सुनने वाले संतों के बीच में पूछने वाले नारद जी को there were many sages were present who were hearing, and among the sages Narada was asking questions. Pruchate Naradaya. So Lord Shiva was speaking about Sanatana Brahma का उपदेश करते हुए शिवजी को देवताओं ने देखा. So you can see there's so many such a detailed description of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was worshipped by the Sanand, the four Kumaras and the Kubera. Lord Shiva was situated in the Tapasya, Upasana, the state of Samadhi. Lord Shiva was the Lord Shiva is engaged in the auspicious activities for the whole universe, who is the friend of the whole universe. That Lord Shiva was having the jata, basma, and a deer skin, having a reddish complexion. So in this purport, Prabhupada says that so the Lord was sitting on a mattress of straw because such a sitting place is accepted by persons for practicing austerities to gain understanding of the absolute truth. The 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna speaks about the Dhyana Yoga, Krishna also mentions about what kind of asana one should sit on. In this verse, it is specifically mentioned that he was speaking to the great sage Narada, a celebrated devotee, Prichate Naradaya. So, because Narada is a great devotee, Narada is a person who is actually empowered by the Lord to propagate Bhakti Yoga. Narada is the father of devotional service. So, therefore, the discussion which was going on there must be about Bhakti Yoga only. Because Narada is the father of devotional service, and Narada is asking question, he must be asking about Bhakti Yoga. And Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava, definitely he must be asking about the Vishnu Bhakti. In other words, Lord Shiva and Narada were discussing the knowledge of the Veda, Sanatana Brahma. But specifically, it should be understood that the subject matter in the Vedas which they were discussing is not Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda, but they were discussing about the devotional service. So we can see that Lord Shiva is the supreme instructor and Narada is the supreme audience here. Therefore, the supreme subject matter, the great sage Narada, the supreme audience, Lord Shiva, the supreme instructor. Therefore, the subject matter which has been discussed, it must be about bhakti only. Which is the supreme subject matter of the Vedas. Therefore, the supreme subject matter of Vedic knowledge is bhakti or devotional service. Next shloka. कृत्वोरौ दक्षिणे सव्यम्
कृत्वोरो दक्षिणे सव्यम्
पादपद्मं च जानुनी
पादपद्मं च जानुनि
बाहुं प्रकोष्ठे क्षमालाम्
बाहुं प्रकोष्ठे क्षमालाम्
आसीनं तर्कमुद्रया.
आसीनं तर्कमुद्रया. His left leg was placed on his right thigh and his left hand was placed on his left thigh. In his right hand, he held Rudraksha beads. This sitting posture is called Virasana. He sat in the Virasana posture and his finger was in the mode of argument.
So this verse specifically describes about the posture of Lord Shiva. Dakshine urau savyam padapadmam kritva. Dakshine urau. Dakshine urau, that means right thigh. Savyam padapadmam. Savyam is the left. His left leg was placed on the right thigh. And Dakshine urau is the thigh. Dakshine urau savyam padapadmam krutva bahum cha januni. Bahum is his hand. Januni. Janu is also the thigh only. Janu is another word for the thigh. Bahum cha januni. His left hand was placed on his left knee. Janu is actually the knee. Uru is the thigh. His left hand was placed on his left knee. Bahum cha januni and prakoshte akshamalam krutva. Prakoshte means what? Right forearm. I think this portion. Right forearm, prakoshte. Akshamalam means Rudraksha beads. He had beads on his right forearm. Prakoshte akshamalam kritva. And then Tarkamudraya asinam shivam dadrushu. And Lord Shiva was having the Tarka Mudra. So they saw that Lord Shiva, whose left foot was on the right thigh and whose left hand was placed on his left knee. And he had beads on his right forearm and his right hand showed the Tarka Mudra. So left hand was on the left knee, Tarka Mudra was on the right hand. So the Acharyas, they quote from the Shastra, from the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, the particular posture in which Lord Shiva was present, that is called as a Virasana. What is the definition of Virasana? Ekapadam ataikasmin vinyased uru samstitam itarasmin stata bahum Virasanam idam smritam. So Virasana is defined as placing each foot on the opposite thigh. I mean, left foot will be on the right thigh, right foot will be on the left thigh. And placing the hands on the thighs. Placing the hands on the thighs. That is called as a Virasana. And what is Tarka Mudra? Tarka Mudra is defined as Tarjan Angushtayor Agre Mita Samyojya Changulihi Prasarya Bandhanam Pragus Tarkamudreti Mantrika. Tarkamudra means there's a forefinger and a thumb finger. Forefinger is, I think, this, na? This is the forefinger and thumb finger. Forefinger and the thumb finger will be The tip of the forefinger, the thumb finger will be joined. And the other fingers will be spread. This is called the Tarka Mudra. So his right hand was in the Tarka Mudra and his left hand was in the left knee and his left foot was placed on the right thigh and the right foot was placed on the left thigh. That way, Lord Shiva was situated in the Virasana and the Tarka Mudra. Let us see Prabhupada's purport. So this is the Virasana according to the system of Ashtanga Yoga performances. In Ashtanga Yoga, there are different stages, Yama, Niyama, and then Yama, after Yama, Niyama comes the Asana. And then Pranayama, Pratyahara and all other. So besides Virasana, there are also other sitting postures like Padmasana, Siddhasana, etc. So all these asanas, a person practices these asanas for elevating oneself to realize the super soul, the Paramatma. Vishnu is not the elevating oneself to the position of realizing the super soul Vishnu. So simple practice of this asanas is not the perfection stage of yoga. The purpose of this yoga is to elevate oneself to realize the super soul. So here Prabhupada says that Lord Shiva is called as Yogishwara and Krishna is called as Yogeshwara. Lord Shiva is the master of all the yogis and Krishna is called the Yogeshwara. So Yogeshwara indicates that nobody can surpass the yoga practice of Lord Shiva. And Yogeshwara indicates that nobody can surpass the yogic perfection of Krishna. And Lord Shiva was having the Tarka Mudra. The fingers are opened, the second finger is raised along with the arm. That means like Lord Shiva is a symbolic representation when a person is speaking about the particular subject matter, spiritual subject matter, when we use a Tarka Mudra. Is trying to impress the audience with the particular some subject matter. So a body language is also required when you're like even in the public speaking, they also talk about the importance of the body language. So similarly, here the Lord Shiva is giving a spiritual discourse. So he is using the Tarka Mudra to impress the audience on a particular subject matter. Next shloka. Tam Brahma Nirvana Samadhimashritam.
Tam Brahma Nirvana Samadhimashritam.
Vyupashritam Girisham Yoga Kaksham.
Upashrutam Girisham Yoga Kaksham.
Salokapala Munayo Manunam.
Salokapala Munayo Manunam.
Adyam Manum Pranjalaya Pranemuhu.
Adyam Manum Pranjalaya Pranemuhu. All the sages and demigods headed by Indra offered their respectful obeisances unto Lord Shiva with folded hands. Lord Shiva was dressed in saffron garments and absorbed in trance, thus appearing to be the foremost of all sages.
So till the previous shloka, the description of Lord Shiva is given. And then now the Devatas offer obeisances to Lord Shiva. Let us focus on the shloka. Yoga Kaksham Yupashritam. Yoga Kaksham Yupashritam. Yoga Kaksha means what? Yoga Kaksha refers to in order to focus the mind, and the absolute truth, a person has a particular belt actually. Yoga Kaksha refers to a particular cloth or a belt Prabhupada translates as having his left knee firmly fixed with a knotted cloth. So yoga kaksham refers to a particular particular cloth or the purpose of that cloth. There's a cloth which is draped over his knee. The purpose of that cloth is to facilitate one's meditation on the absolute truth. So the acharyas say that yoga pattaka sahara liye. There's a yoga patta. Yoga kaksham yupashritam. Brahma nirvana samadhi mashritam. So Lord Shiva, Brahma nirvana samadhi mashritam. That means Lord Shiva was situated in the samadhi and he was tasting the Brahmananda. So Brahma does not refer to only the impersonal absolute truth. Brahma word is also used to refer to the absolute truth in general. Bhagavan also is referred by the word Brahma. So Brahma Nirvana Samadhi Mashrita means Lord Shiva was absorbed in his meditation on the Bhagavan and he was experiencing that, he was absorbed in that, tasting that Brahmananda. So Yoga Pattaka Sahara liye एकाग्र चित्त से ब्रह्मानंद का अनुभव करने वाले. So these are also other adjectives for Lord Shiva. Brahma Nirvana Samadhi Mashritam Tam Girisham, that Lord Shiva. And then one more word, Manunam Adyam Manum. Manunam Adyam Manum. The word Manu here refers to the Manana Shila. One who is expert in contemplation, doing manana. Manunam Adyam Manu means Manana Shilo me Sarvasreshta Muni. Lord Shiva, who is the best among the contemplators, or the best among the thinkers. Prabhupada says that Manunam Adyam Manu means Lord Shiva, who is the best among the thinkers. To that Lord Shiva, Tam Girisham Pranjalayaha with the Anjali Mudra. Salokapala Gunayaha Pranemuhu. All the Lokapalas and the sages, they offered obeisances to Lord Shiva with their folded hands. Which Lord Shiva? Manunam Adyam Manu. One who is the best among the thinkers. Or Manana Shilo me Sarvasreshta Lord Shankarji. And Yoga Kaksham Vipashratam. That Lord Shiva who was having a cloth draped around his knee. And Brahma Nirvana Samadhi Mashritam. That Lord Shiva who is absorbed in tasting the Brahmananda. So all the Lokapalas and the sages, they offered obeisances to that Lord Shiva with the folded hands. Pranjalayaha Pranemuhu. So here Prabhupada writes a very important point in the purport. So the word Brahmananda is significant. Brahma Nirvana is explained by Prahlad Maharaj. When one is completely absorbed in Adokshaja, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in Brahmananda. So here Brahma Nirvana refers to, he was explaining the bliss of being absorbed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the meaning of the word Brahma Nirvana here. And then Prabhupada further says that it is impossible to conceive of the existence of the name, form, quality, and passage of the Supreme Lord because he is transcendentally situated. Because he is transcendentally situated beyond the conception of the materialistic persons. So because materialists cannot imagine or conceive of the personality of Godhead, they may think that God is dead. But factually, he is always existing in his Sachidananda Vigraha, his eternal form. So constant meditation on the form of the Lord is called Samadhi. So Lord Shiva was situated in that Samadhi, absorption in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, that is being described as Brahma Nirvana Mashritam. So Lord Shiva exhibited those symptoms, and therefore it is stated that he was absorbed in Brahmananda. So he was absorbed in Brahmananda means he was absorbed in meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yoga Kaksham also refers to a sitting posture in which the left thigh is fixed under one's tightly knotted saffron colored garment, which facilitates the yogic posture. And Manuna Madhyam, this is an important word. Manuna Madhyams, Prabhupada has translated as the best among all the thinkers, the chief of all the thinkers. So chief of all the thinkers means what? There are many thinkers and philosophers who have come in India and also in the Western world. But the chief among all the thinkers is that person who is concerned about the spiritual welfare of the people of this world. Such a person is the chief of all the thinkers. So Manuna Madhyam is significant because they mean a philosopher or one who is thoughtful and one who can think very nicely. Such a person is called Manu. Lord Shiva is described as the chief of all the thinkers because he does not engage in useless mental speculation. Rather, he is engaged in thinking how to bring the conditioned souls close to the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the chief among all the thinking. Therefore, personalities like Lord Shiva, they also appear the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation as Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya was thinking, was exhibiting the same quality of Manuna Madhyam. Advaita Acharya was thinking, how can the people of Navadvip be delivered? And they are so much absorbed in the ritualistic activities or the materialistic activities. And Advaita Acharya was pained to see them, and therefore he worshipped the Shaligram Shila and chanted the holy names for the appearance of the Lord. It is said that during the advent of Lord Chaitanya, Sadashiva appeared as Advaita Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu's chief concern was to elevate the fallen conditioned souls to the platform of devotional service to Krishna. So, actually, Lord Chaitanya appeared on the request of Lord Advaita. Similarly, Lord Shiva has a Rudra Sampradaya. He is always thinking about the deliverance of the fallen souls as exhibited by Lord Advaita Prabhu. So therefore, this word is a very important word in the shloka. Manunam Adyam. Last shloka we'll take. Satupalabhya gatamatma yonim.
Satupalabhya gatam atmayonim.
Sura sureshairabhivanditangrihi.
Sura sureshai abhimanditangrihi.
Uddhaya chakre shirasabhivandanam.
Uddhaya chakre shirasabhivandanam.
Arhattamakasya yataiva Vishnuhu.
Arhatamakasya yathaiva Vishnu. Translation. Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons. But still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamandev offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyap Muni.
So we can see last several verses spoke about the exalted position of Lord Shiva with so many adjectives. But in this shloka, we see Lord Shiva's following his etiquette, Lord Shiva's humility, how he offered obeisances to Brahma. Sura Sureshair Abhivanditangrihi. Sura Asuresh Abhivanditangrihi. देवताओं और असुरों के स्वामी भी जिनके चरण कमलों की वंदना करते हैं. Lord Shiva is worshipped by the leaders of the Suras and Asuras. That Lord Shiva, Satu Agatam, Atmayonim Upalabhya. Satu Agatam Atmayonim Upalabhya. That Lord Shiva, after Atma Yoni refers to Brahma. Upalabhya means after seeing the Brahma who has come along with the Devatas, that Lord Shiva, who is worshipped by the leaders of both the Suras and Asuras, that Lord Shiva, what did he do? Abhivandanam, Uttaya Shirasa Abhivandanam Chakre. He immediately got up and he offered obeisances to Brahma. Shirasa Abhivandanam Chakre. He offered obeisances to Lord Brahma. And an analogy is given. Yata Arhattamaha Vishnuhu. Vishnu is the Arhattama. Arhattama means the Vishnu is the best among the worshipable personalities. Is the topmost worshipable personality is Lord Vishnu. But that Lord Vishnu, when he appeared as Vamana Deva, Kasya here refers to Kashyapasya. That Vamana Deva, he offered obeisances to Kashyapa. Although Vishnu is the most worshipable personality, but that Vamana Deva, Vishnu when he appeared as Vamana Deva, he offered obeisances to Kashyapa Rishi, who is the father of Vamana. Similarly, Lord Shiva, who is the master, who is worshipped by the master of the Suras and Asuras, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma had come, he immediately got up and offered full obeisances to Brahma. So this shows the how the Lord Shiva's conduct. So Prabhupada says that Kashyapa Muni is a Jivatma. But Kashyapa Muni, he gave birth to Vamanadev through Aditi. And Vamanadev is the Vishnu, who is the Arhattama. But although Vamanadev is the Vishnu, but he offered his respects to Kashyapa Muni. Similarly, Krishna, when he was a child, he would offer obeisances to his mother and father, Nanda and Yashoda. And in the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna touched the feet of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was his elder brother. Similarly, it appears that the personality of God and Lord Shiva and other devotees, in spite of their being situated in an exalted position, they instructed by practical example how to offer obeisances to their superiors. Lord Shiva offered respects to Brahma because Brahma was his father, just as Kashyapa Muni was the father of Vamana. So there is also one more verse I will mention. Just few days back, I was in Dwaraka. That time I was discussing some qualities of Krishna. So one of the 64 qualities of Krishna is Vinayi. One of the 64 qualities of Krishna is Vinayi. Vinayi means that person who is free from arrogance. He is called as a Vinayi. So in this regard, Rupa Goswami quotes an instance how Krishna exhibited this quality of Vinayi, free from arrogance, or one who is modest. So once when Yudhishthira Maharaj was coming in a chariot and Krishna was coming in the chariot. As soon as Yudhishthira Maharaj saw Krishna, he wanted to get down from the chariot in order to offer respects to Krishna. But Krishna saw that Yudhishthira Maharaj is trying to get down from the chariot to offer respects to me. Krishna immediately he got down from the chariot first, and out of respect for Yudhishthira Maharaj, immediately he got down from the chariot first, and then he showed respects to Yudhishthira Maharaj before Yudhishthira could offer respects to him. So Rupa Goswami quotes this incident, mentioned this incident to show that how Krishna exhibited more modesty than anybody else. So in that way, he exhibited the quality of Vinayi. So we see this particular shloka, and then next week we will see that very beautiful. Brahma will start speaking to Lord Shiva. So Brahma's how Brahma initially will glorify Lord Shiva, and then Brahma will start telling to Lord Shiva about to forgive the Devatas, to forgive Daksha Prajapati, to reduce their punishment so that the sacrifice can again begin for the welfare of the universe. So you will see that section, very beautiful section. Next week we'll discuss. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Nitya Krishnadas.
Dandavat.
You mentioned the 6 ripus and 6 waves. So they come from these 4 anarthas?
The hunger, thirst, this one. Hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion.
Hunger, that is the waves. Hunger, thirst.
Hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, and old age and death. These are called as 6 waves. And Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsara, they are also called as 6 waves.
So they are also waves only, and these are also waves.
So when a person has a material body, because of the material body, you cannot avoid hunger, thirst, old age, death, lamentation, illusion. But to the extent a person is absorbed in higher truths, to the extent a person develops a higher absorption in Krishna, one will not be affected by the 6 waves. There's a beautiful shloka. I'll show this shloka. This is from the 5th canto, 5.1. 5.1.35. Naivam vida purushakara vurukramasya pumsam tadangri rajasa jitashad gunanam chitram vidura vigata sakridadadita yennamadeya maduna sajahati bandam. In the shloka, you see the second line, Jitashad gunanam. Jitashad gunanam refers to conquering the 6 waves only. So what is the meaning of the shloka? My dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend the influence of the 6 material whips. That is the 6 waves. namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, and old age and death. And he can conquer the mind and five senses. However, this is not very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the four castes, means one who is below even the Shudra, one who is an outcast, or an untouchable person, even such a person is immediately relieved of the bondage of material existence if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. Talks about the power of the holy name. So by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, a person can conquer the six whips, the six waves: hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. So Lord Shiva was in a situation where he had completely conquered. Samshanta Vigraham. Samshanta Vigraham means the one who has completely conquered the six waves. Correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good. So next week, mostly let us see if we can complete the chapter next week. We have till 53rd shloka, and then 13 slokas. Right. So we'll stop here. There are no questions. Thank you very much for your patient attention. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam